Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. MAITRI, a divine debate with YAJNAVALKYA about self. My Dharma, the impeccable wisdom. My greatest discovery, Divyank, the divine design of nature, with which the perfect objects of the universe are designed and created. With Divyank, we can understand perfection of entire universe, including human being, right from sodium chloride pump, sodium potassium pump, to DNA, to all the structure of the human body, to the solar system, to the universal consciousness. Everything is designed only with Divyank. It was first time recognized, conceived and revealed in 2015. With Divyank, we can create a new syllabus for entire education, from divine mathematics to divine physics to divine chemistry to divine biology to divine all the subjects which are core, perfect throughout in a perfect human being to perfect solar system and perfect universe. In that light, we are going to see our videos in that light only. This particular conversation is about YAJNAVALKYA and his family. He was married to Katyani, the daughter of sage Katyana, and she was dedicated household only. Very dedicated housewife, to be understood and appreciated. Her focus was on Grahast and Grahast family alone. Later, MAITRI approached him for marriage, for learning and mastering soul wisdom, universal consciousness, and with the permission of Katyani, she got married to YAJNAVALKYA, and then they had a very spiritual science dialogues on different subjects. And there is one particular dialogue which stands out in the name of MAITRI with YAJNAVALKYA, and that is going to be the focus of this particular video. The focus is that YAJNAVALKYA decides to go for renouncement and says, MAITRI, I am about to go forth from this state of householder to Vanaprastha, or you say sannyas, where I would start doing my compilation of books to complete as the way the world should know. All my experiences from childhood to this is going to be in Brihad Upanishad, other Upanishads and other scriptures, including Yajnavalkya Smriti. Before that, she tells him that you have met me and Katyani many years. Now I want to leave, and then the first statement he makes, and I want to leave divide all my property to you and Katyani. At that particular stage, the first question which MAITRI asked him is, this world is filled with wealth, were mine. Would I be immortal with that? Very interesting question. She had got married to him for immortality, Amrit, Amrit and Amrit alone, knowing which everything is fully known, and that is Purnata in his language during that period. And very clearly, YAJNAVALKYA makes it clear, you cannot become immortal with money alone. But you will live a life like the rich man. However, there is no hope for immortality through wealth alone. That is something which I want to make it very clear here itself. Wealth alone cannot give you immortality. You cannot buy certain things, including immortality, knowledge and other things. But at the same time, from my own experience, you are dead without money. And anybody wants to tell me that wealth is a problem on the way of spirituality, I would not agree. I am a spiritual scientist who is revealing Divyank for the first time, making new science a symbol, explaining the entire beauty of Sanatana Dharma from Veda Upanishads to all the scriptures, and showing how beautiful is the science in that. And I am saying, had I not been rich enough, if I was not a practicing doctor, very popular, was not an industrial manufacturing medicines, and also having so many contacts which was giving me money left, right and front, I wouldn't have been able to do the kind of work I've done, the kind of people I've helped, the kind of PhD research I've done, the kind of books I've written, the kind of work which I'm doing. They are all supported by wealth, wealth and wealth. I do not want anybody to put Mahalakshmi under the carpet and restrict only to Saraswati. And I believe in Durga and Gayatri, and they have all the 5 elements. It is Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Bhumi as well as Akash. The whole solid matter, energy and all the manifestations, all the 5 aspects are very clear to me, have to be understood if you want to go for Akhandata. This is first statement which I am making it very clear, and I have been doing that all through my work. Now, Maitri's second question comes, what should I do with that by which I do not become immortal? In other words, she said, I don't want the kind of money you want to leave behind, but give me something, knowing which everything else is fully known. This is a way to immortality. And to the best of my knowledge, Maharishi YAJNAVALKYA was immortal soul. He had recognized the beauty through Kundalini Yoga. He knew all the centers of consciousness. He knew the entire human body. And as a result, he knew the whole universe at his fingertips. So from that angle, I would say, anyone who understands 10 plus chakras of the body and under the association endocrine gland, autonomic glands, and other things, the only one who can understand the solar system, 10 centers, as well as spiral galaxy, entire universe is with Divyank alone. And that is something, rays of that work were done by YAJNAVALKYA, and I think I have taken it to the level for the first time, basically because we have the kind of medium with which I could calculate. Initially 22 by 21 was calculated in Upanishad, including by YAJNAVALKYA. 10 stages of development and Dasartara was very clear. But when come to the Shiva's 0.344195 digits to Panchabhutas was not known. That is something which I have discovered and given to the world, and I want everybody to understand. Only with Divya you can understand the whole thing, including this particular conversation between YAJNAVALKYA and Maitri. Now the next question comes up. Maitri, you have been very dear to me even before. Now you speak dear words to me because you are focused on understanding the beauty of immortality. Please come and sit down. I will explain to you. Even when explaining to you, please reflect on what I say. The impeccable wisdom of self. And here the first message which I have always been giving. I look at my students who listen to me with 100% focus. Even for a second, they do not deviate from what I am listening. And I don't want any of my students to carry any knowledge which they have gone with my class. I tell them to leave everything. Come to me empty-handed, and I will give you moksha. That's what Krishna is talking about in Bhagavad Gita. And that is what I have also been saying, and that's what YAJNAVALKYA was also saying. Don't go to listen to somebody with the preconceived ideas. Go with the empty thing. Listen very carefully. Reflect on that. And then remove all the dirt which we have and impose the memory of impeccable wisdom in your brain. And that should become your functional thing, is the first message given in this particular video. Now comes the next question is, the YAJNAVALKYA says, now you listen carefully, I am going to talk about certain things which are very important in the life of a human being. And I do believe there are 3 rins which every human being has to understand. What is the Bhumi rin? We are getting everything from the earth element for our eat, food, everything. And it is our duty to plant trees and take care of all the living beings of the earth and the universe at the same time. It's the first duty. Pitra rin is that we are born because of our parents. It is our duty to get married and have children, grow them with a very health, educate them very well, so they become the asset for the world, is the second thing. And third rin is Dev rin. All the knowledge which the world has been created so beautifully, effectively, not by me, you and anybody, by the divinity who created the universe. Before the creation, neon 21, during creation, neon 22, then the light brilliance, then the 10 koshas and panch koshas, panchbhutas, and everything, right from hydrogen atom to the entire universe, which I've been speaking about. Wisdom, all that is required, and that wisdom is of Dev, Rin, and we got to do all the three things. From that angle, getting married in a very honest way, with all the 7 rounds in tapasya, which we Hindus do it, is recommended because each tapasya gives us a wisdom what to do and what not to do. And principles are great. Anybody who sticks to that would be the greatest knowledgeable person in tune with nature. That is first thing, and that says, verily not for sake of the husband is a husband dear, but the husband is dear for the sake of self. But do everything from the self. Love him from the Atma. Atma is one. So as a result, you can be loyal to only one husband. And that should be your other half, Shakta and Shiv Shakti. And that is also the picture which I had created, was only to represent. Every human being should be male and female, one to one only. And in that picture of Shiv Shakti, I have put the picture of Shakti's face, not of Shakta's face. That is also something which I want everybody to recognize. One marriage, one Shakti, and devoted completely, you'll have a perfect family, you'll have perfect children, perfect household, perfect society, perfect world. And that's the first message. Same thing is repeated in this particular picture. Instead of husband, now you're talking about wife. Really, not for the sake of the wife is the wife dear, but wife is dear for the sake of the self. That means you should have one wife and be devoted to her like Shakti. This is where my focus comes on Lord Shiva more. Lord Shiva was fond of only one Shakti, and same Parvati had to take birth again and again to match up to him, not by anybody else. Are the life of Satyavan and Savitri. And Savitri has been very dear to me basically because I see an image of dedication towards the husband and wife's thing. That integrated approach of husband-wife makes a spiritual couple. Only a spiritual couple without any difficulty will be able to understand. Here, let me also tell you, male is a very dominant math logical thing on left side of the brain, fantastic. But that is 38.1966% of the concept. Remaining 61.8034 of Divyank is the dynamic side, which is right side of the brain. And for that, we do need female Shaktis to tell us multidimensional things. Males by and large can do certain things, but females can do many more things. They have more divergent personalities. For me, if I have to leave God from one side and the living being, it is the Shakti which I have learned much more than I have learned from any Shakta. That is the reality, and I have always admitted it. And that's the reason I talk of Savitri more than I talk of anything else. And that is the beauty of Savitri by and large. Satyavan Savitri's story is a piece by itself. When she is devoted to Satyavan, she is able to bring his dead body back with the soul from God itself. That is the quality of husband and wife, Shakta and Shakti, which I would face is absolutely essential. Now coming to the question is, when husband and wife are together, we have to procreate next generation. So you call son and daughter. I would put both are equal because you should have one son, one daughter preferably, so that the balance is maintained. 2 children, husband and wife, two children, one son, one daughter is ideal from any combination. And we love the son for the sake of son is dear, not for the son alone, but the self. Because self knows very well, I need one wife, I should have one husband, I should have my family. So the procreation of Pitra Rin can be well maintained. This is a concept which is very deeply rooted in this dialogue. And I think that is wisdom. And you should do everything for the son and the daughter and give them integrated education, impeccable wisdom of the self, and entire universe as such in the self can teach you perfection. And in other words, integrated education is enlightening, empowering, and that is what we need to do. We should be perfect. Wife should be perfect, and son and daughter should also be perfect, is the message in this particular third one. The next message they talk to about wealth. And he says, not for the sake of wealth is wealth is dear, but the wealth is dear for the sake of self. As I made it very clear, without money you cannot do anything. Even food, shelter, clothes, education, enlightenment, everything costs money. And I don't want anybody to be a beggar. No reservations, no begging, nothing at all. We are capable of working and earning for ourselves. Self-made, self-education and money used for perfection in every level is required. From that angle, Goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, is the fourth one he talks about it. You need a house, you need every household things, you need perfection, you need food, because only with good food and good atmosphere, clean inside, outside, and that's what I'm talking through Akhand Yoga. Purnata and Sampurnata and Shuddhata is required, and that all required. If you want to do research, you want to buy books, you want to be educated, it costs money. So money should not be put under the carpet. Is the second. This message is very, very clear, sound. So do not go for begging. Don't ask for reservation. Don't ask for something which you are not deserve. You got to earn your position. Only when you are enlightened yourself, you are highly educated, you can earn automatically. My entire life, I never asked for money, but I do know I was very rich. Basically, when you work hard on your own, money automatically comes. When you are after Saraswati, Lakshmi will automatically come because they are contemporary parts along with Ganesha. Now go to the next one. Now comes the next question. I am a Brahmin by birth, and I am making it very clear. It is not by birth you become a Brahmin. You become Brahmin only when you start thinking very high. When your knowledge is going to be impeccable wisdom, Purnata, everything from A to Z is perfect. There is not even single defect. That way YAJNAVALKYA make it very clear. The person I want you to listen to me carefully, think about it, and then decide, not this, not this, not this, not this. But what is absolute wisdom? Knowing which everything is fully known. Don't stop short. And that is contemplative meditation, which Akhand Yoga is talking about. And that is what Brahman is supposed to be. Brahman is supposed to be knowledgeable people, person who can give impeccable wisdom to the world, knowing which everything is known. This is the duty of a Brahmanhood. Every human being, whether it's a boy or girl, should be a Brahman to reach that level. And that is absolutely essential. And that is one who can give you enlightenment, it can give impeccable wisdom, and then give you integrated education. This is absolutely essential. Next goes to stage of Chhatriyahood. This straightway talks about people who administer. They are dear, not for the dear of Kshatriya, but self needs, because we need to administer. You need to have discipline. You got to be auto-regulated. You got to follow certain principles of self-discipline. Knowledge is one side. To apply that knowledge, you should have the courage to do. So ruling yourself, ruling the world is that. But I will not go to the extent of talking of other things like other business people and other things. But I think all the three Rashis come under Kshatriyahood because they all have to be focused, they have to be dedicated, they have to be worker. And they complement. Even Brahman has to go through all the four stages. Shudra to Vaishya to Kshatriya to Brahman, because he has to knowledge of all the four. And Brahman should be like all the four at the same time. And Chhatria is very important to lead. Now come to the next question, the world. Now we are all living on the world, and we got to take care of the world for the love of the world, for the self. And the self is designed with generation, operation and dissolution. This is God, G-O-D, of every living being on the earth. That is the duty of the world. World has all the livings on the earth. Divine Mother is the divine earth, is a mother. And we got to take care of everything from that point. Understanding the world A to Z, external world, is absolutely essential. That's a message which is given. Then comes to the question of gods. Nature has made gods and goddesses to represent different elements which are there within the universe, from hydrogen to all the elements, like what you see in periodic table. You can see within our body. And all the 33 crore devatas which Rigveda is talking about are within us. The realization of those gods is absolute. Only knowing that gods and goddesses, their qualities, is what Vedas are talking about. Only then we can understand complete chemistry. Our body can be perfect chemistry. And in this picture I have shown only of Agni, which is explained maximum in Rigveda. Once you understand Agni, you can understand Bhumi and Jal, also Vayu and Akash. Then there comes the question of all the living beings which are on the earth from A to Z. We got to understand that because they represent evolution. The life started from atoms to elements to molecules to the compounds to the cells to the plant kingdom to the animal kingdom to the human, and the most enlightened human being who is in tune with universal consciousness is all what we should to know, understand A to Z of everything perfectly, and that is complete knowledge. That is perfect being in A to Z. Then there comes the question of the self. For the safer dear, we should, all the people who are on earth, we should be very fond of. Everybody should be dear. We should not make any differences. Whether it's a color-wise, nation-wise, this way. We got to respect each and every one, understand everybody, respect everybody, and enlighten everybody. And that is what it is called. That is why Sanatana Dharma talk of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, unity in diversity. There is no difference between one person and other. We are all made by the divine nature for making the world a beautiful drama. The divine drama, to understand, we have to respect and regard. You cannot find fault with everybody. Everybody has got their own role at that particular stage. That unity in diversity is a message of Sanatana Dharma, and that's a message he gave it when you talk of the self in everyone. Then comes the question, the last question. Dear Maitri, it is a self that should be seen. Makes it very clear. You got to see yourself within your brain. You got to hear it, the voice of silence. You got to reflect on what it's talking about. You got to have a component upon the meditation to understand the conversation between you and you. Only by seeing your Atma, hearing the Atma, thinking of things given by Atma, understanding of the self, and all the knowledge given, we can be one with universal consciousness. And that is what the voice of consciousness of Atma you call it, Kundalini you call it, Paramatma you call it, Antaratma you call it, Soul you call it, Self you call it, is absolutely essential. And that is helium-4. And that is Goddess Aditi, which has come from the sun, is the daughter of sun, and is a communication between us and the sun. As a result, we can be one. And this is a beautiful dialogue. I don't think any other dialogue between any other concept when it comes to self-realization and all the important parts, the husband, wife, children, to self, step by step, with a contemplative meditation. All what I'm talking through Akhand Yoga and what Gita is talking about, what Sanatana Dharma is talking about, has been summed up beautifully by Maharishi YAJNAVALKYA to Maitri in a highly classified. Anyone who is in tune with self, listen to the self, will be immortal, will know everything from Purnata to we come out of the Purnata, lives in Purnata, will always be Purnata. That is the beauty which Yajnavalkya has given to the world. Now coming to the last stage, the wisdom of A to Z of the entire universe is well within this symptom itself. This has a best symbol, supervised with Indian system of Kundalini, chakras, nadis, and universal consciousness, and the entire universe, all there in the center. And anyone who can understand this would be in tune with universal consciousness, would know self, would know the solar system, know the Brahman, know Mahabrahman. A to Z is all within our body. And this is reflected in this, and I can tell you, this is what has helped me to be what I am today. And from that angle, I think it has been a wonderful sharing all my experiences one by one to the world the way things are. I think should be enough for the day. Thank you very much.